It's a scene we all dread. You're in a busy street, maybe at the office, or even just at home, and all of a sudden, someone collapses. Everything just stops. People freeze. There's confusion, there's panic. But right there, in that critical first minute, what you do, or what you don't do, can literally mean the difference between life and death. So let's break down exactly what you need to do in those first 60 seconds.
So you see someone on the ground, and your mind is just racing, right? Do they just faint from the heat? Are they having a seizure? Or is it something way more serious, like their heart has stopped? The truth is, you don't have time to play detective. You have to act.
And this is exactly why. Now, I know this quote looks super medical and complicated, but what it's saying is actually pretty stark. The brain needs oxygen. And without a heartbeat to pump blood, brain cells start to die in as little as 4 to 6 minutes. So waiting, hesitating, or just hoping they'll wake up on their own, that's not an option. The clock is ticking, and it is ticking fast.
So what do? We're going to break this down into a super simple, memorable plan. The first 10 seconds, they're all about one thing: recognizing that you are dealing with a real emergency. Okay, first things first, your safety. You can't help anyone if you become a victim yourself, right? So take a quick look around. Is there traffic, a fire, anything dangerous? If it's all clear, get down next to them, tap them firmly on the shoulders, and shout loudly, right near their ear. Are you okay? Can you hear me? And here is the absolute key. If that person doesn't respond at all, no movement, no groaning, they don't even open their eyes, you have to assume it's serious. A sudden collapse with no response is always a medical emergency until a professional tells you otherwise. Okay, let's move on. We've established they're unresponsive. Now you have 2 jobs to do, and you need to do them almost at the same time. Check for breathing and get help on the way.
Now, this is a huge point, so lean in for this one. You're gonna look at their chest to see if it's rising and falling normally. But here's the tricky part. You might see these weird, irregular, noisy gasps for air. It almost looks like a fish out of water. That is called agonal breathing, and it is not normal breathing. It's actually a sign that the heart has stopped. If you see that, you treat it like they are not breathing at all. Do not wait. I really can't stress this enough. The second you realize they're unresponsive and not breathing normally, you need to be calling your local emergency number. In the US, it's 911. Do not delay this step for any reason. And if you're not alone, don't just yell, "Somebody call for help," in a panic. Everyone might think someone else is doing it. It's a weird psychological thing. So you need to be direct. Point at one person. You, in the blue shirt, call 911 right now and tell them someone collapsed and isn't breathing. Then, point to someone else. You, in the red jacket, go find an AED. Be specific, be loud, take charge. Okay, so help is on the way. The person right in front of you doesn't have time to wait. If they are not breathing normally, this is your moment. This is when you can become a lifesaver. It is time to start CPR. And don't worry, the hand position is pretty straightforward. Just like you see here, you're going to place the heel of one of your hands right in the center of their chest, on the breastbone. Then, put your other hand right on top of that one and lock your fingers together. Keep your arms totally straight and get your shoulders right over your hands. Now this number, this is your magic number. You need to push at a rate of 100 to 120 compressions every minute. That's pretty fast, about 2 compressions a second. And hey, here's a little trick. You can do it to the beat of the song "Stayin' Alive" by the Bee Gees. It sounds a little goofy, but trust me, it actually works. And please, don't be afraid to push hard. You need to push the chest down about 2 inches or 5 centimeters. What you're doing is manually pumping blood to the brain and all the vital organs. You are literally being their heart. Your hands are keeping them alive until the paramedics can take over. Now, it's totally natural to hesitate for a second, to think, wait, am I doing the right thing? What if this isn't even a cardiac arrest? And that's a really important feeling we need to talk about.
Look, a person can collapse for all sorts of reasons. And of course you're worried. What if they just fainted and I start doing CPR and hurt them? But in that moment, the why just doesn't matter. You simply don't have the time to figure it out.
This right here, this is the golden rule of any emergency. Your job is not to be a doctor, it's not to diagnose the problem. Your one and only job is to handle the biggest, most immediate threat to their life, and that's the fact that their heart and lungs aren't working. You keep them alive, the doctors can figure out the diagnosis later.
So I know this can feel like a lot to remember, especially in a panic, so let's boil it all down to one simple, powerful plan that you can't forget. It's just 3 words.
Check, call, compress.
that is it. First, you check if they respond and if they're breathing normally. Second, you call for help and an AED. And third, if they're not breathing normally, you compress the chest, hard and fast, right in the center.
So the next time you see someone collapse, you won't be one of the bystanders just frozen in fear. You have a plan. You know exactly what to do. Just remember, check, call, compress. Those simple actions you take in that first critical minute, they could be the most important thing you ever do. You really could save a life.